Hello, dear students. I am here with the second part of the first chapter, Natural Resources of Geography. Before starting the chapter, I want to remind you to please keep a notebook and pen ready with you so that you can note down the important topics, definitions, or terms, and be attentive and focused while watching the video. Now, before starting the new one, let us revise what we have learned in the previous one. What is resource? How many types of resources we have learned? That is natural, human resources, and human made resources. Now, types of resources. Now, we will learn the classification of natural resources. It is clear with the flow chart only. Natural resources are divided on different bases. First one is based on origin. So, on the basis of origin, we are having biotic and abiotic resources. On base of utility, or on the base of renewability, how can we renewable it, how can we get it back? So that is renewable and non renewable resources. Based on level of development, that means, so level of development also we are having potential and natural resources, and based on distribution we are having localized and ubiquitous resources. So what are the topics that we are going to learn in part 2 are same only. That is, first we will learn about biotic and abiotic resources, next actual and potential resources, then renewable and non-renewable resources, and last ubiquitous and localized resources. So firstly we will start with biotic and abiotic resources. Here I will explain you on the basis of comparative study. We will learn it on the basis of comparative study so that it will be easier for us to understand the difference between both the resources. Biotic and abiotic. You all are familiar with these two words earlier also because these are that means biotic and abiotic factors only make the environment. First one is biotic resources. The word biotic means life. The word bio means life. Means all biological or living beings that is present in the nature are considered as biotic resources. That means whatever around you possesses life, that is considered as the biotic resources. That means animals, insects, humans, plants, etc. So, all biological and living beings are considered as the biotic resources. That is having life, that is only the biotic resources. Now, if we will consider the abiotic resources, the word abiotic means that is devoid of life, means that is something that has no life. So that means the physical or non-living things are considered as the abiotic resources. Here, if I'll say that physical and non-living things, physical or non-living things, if I'll say, so it should be natural. It doesn't mean that you will say that chair, table are abiotic resources. They are not abiotic resources because they are not natural. So, abiotic resources should be natural. That means the natural resources that is having no life is called abiotic resources. Like land, mineral, soil, water, climate are considered as abiotic resources. So I hope that it is clear to all of you that biotic resources that is having life and abiotic resources composed of the non-living natural resources on the earth surface. Our next one is actual and potential resources. Now, what are actual resources? Resources whose entire quantity and quality are known to us. That means the resources that are available in the nature and we are knowing that how to utilize that resources, or we have developed those technologies to use that resources according to our needs are considered as actual resources. These resources are being used by us in present. Nowadays, we are using these resources properly. Like take an example of oil reserves, hydroelectricity, deposits of coal, etc. So these are the type of actual resources. That means the resources whose entire quantity, how much they are available in the nature and how we can modify it to use it. We are knowing the technologies that can modify these resources in our useful needs, so that are actual resources. Like take an example of dark soil, as it is written here, dark soil of the Deccan plateaus of Maharashtra. We are knowing the qualities of that soil and we are knowing that how to utilize which crops are suitable for that soil. So that is why we are using that soil at its utmost. We are knowing how to use it properly. So the actual resources are those resources whose entire quantity are known to us and it is being used by us in the present. We have developed that much of technology to utilize these resources. Now next one is potential resources. Potential resources means the resources that we are knowing, but we are not able to use it in the present just because the technologies are not developed yet to modify those resources. So, the resources that are known to exist, we are knowing that these resources are existing, but the entire quantity is also not known to us. That means researchers are going on to how to utilize those resources. These resources are not being used by us in present. The resources, we are not using these resources at present, but could be used in future. But we can use it in future once the technologies will be developed. So its best example is the hydroelectricity, the water, hydropower, wind energy, solar energy. These were the resources earlier. These were the potential resources because we were not knowing how to utilize it. But now, slowly, we are developing the technologies to use these resources. So now, these resources, that solar resources, have become the actual resources. So it is based on the stage of development, how the resources are developing. Like first research is going on, so we'll come to know that this is a resource. After that, we will design the technologies to utilize that resource. So this is only the potential resource, means the resource that is having the potential, but since the technologies are not developed, how to use it, so we are not able to use it in present, but we could use it in future. So actual and potential resources is done. Now here are some examples. Like you can see on the screen, classification of the resources, that is actual and potential. You can say that the actual resources are the conventional source of energies. They are conventional resources. That means that traditional one that we are using from long time. And the potentials are having the new resources that are developing nowadays, and slowly we will learn how to utilize those resources. So in actual one, it is mineral deposits, soil, timber, protected natural territories, suitable microclimate for living and recreation. In potential, you can say that wave energy, that earthquake energy, we can say geothermal energy also, iceberg, fresh water. So there are some resources that we can use, but still we are not knowing how to utilize it. So here actual and potential is done. Now the next type is renewable and non-renewable resources. That means on the basis of renewability, that replacement, the resources are divided into two types, that is renewable and non-renewable resources. You are knowing the meaning of the word renewable. Renewable means renew. That again, after the consumption, again we can get back those resources. So, first we will read about the renewable resources. The resources that can be renewed or replenished or replaced naturally. The resources that can be renewed naturally or take short period of time are called renewable resources. Or we can say that the resources that can never be replenished, that is also considered as renewable resources. These resources are unlimited and cannot be affected by the human activities. The renewable resources are unlimited. We are having unlimited stock of it. It does not depend that how much we consume it, or if the consumption will be more, the resources will be depleted. Here the renewable resources will never be depleted. The thing is this. So here the rate of renewable of these resources is greater than the rate of exhaustion. That means the rate at the rate we are consuming it is less than the rate it is renewable. So these include components like air, water and sunlight. All of us are knowing that air, water and sunlight are the unlimited stock. Sunlight, before million billion years ago also sunlight was there. Today also it is there, and I hope in future also it will be there. Next one is non-renewable resources. The resources that cannot be renewed or replenished, that cannot be renewed or replenished. That means once we consume it, it will get depleted, khatam ho jayenge, or take long period of time in formation, or it will, or maybe it can take thousands of years in formation. So that is known as non-renewable resources. These resources are in limited stock and are affected by human activities. As our rate of consumption will increase, the rate of exhaustion will also increase, and we cannot get back these resources in short period of time. It is a long process. It takes many years for these resources in development. The rate of exhaustion of these resources is greater than the rate of renewal. That means rate of exhaustion is greater. That means these resources are, the consumption of these resources is very much as the rate of renewable is. Now for example, these include components like coal, petroleum, natural gases, etc. So renewable, that can be renewed easily. Non-renewable, that cannot be renewed easily, or it takes long time. Here are some examples of renewable and non-renewable resources. Wind power is renewable. Water is also renewable. Trees are also renewable. Geothermal energy, solar energy, all these are the example of the renewable resources. Non-renewable, that we cannot be replaced, the resources that cannot be replaced or that cannot be formed in a short period of time. That is oil, coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, rocks or minerals. So these are the resources that we cannot get easily. The next one is ubiquitous and localized resources. So these resources are classified on the basis of distribution. On the basis of distribution means there are some resources that are present everywhere. Everywhere means everywhere. Let's take an example of sunlight. Sunlight is available in whole world. So that is only the resources. There are some resources that are evenly distributed, and there are some resources that are unevenly distributed. That means some resources are there that are present, that are available at certain places only. Ubiquitous resources, first we will learn. The resources that are found everywhere are called ubiquitous resources. That means that are present everywhere. Ubiquitous resources are distributed at every place. Example is air, sunlight, water that are available everywhere are considered as ubiquitous resources. Next one is localized resources. That means the resources that are present at certain places, जो किसी एक जगह पे पाए जाते हैं. The resources that are not found everywhere are called the localized resources, that are not present everywhere evenly. These resources are found only in certain places. For example, copper, iron, coal, petroleum are localized resources because these resources are available at some places. So, the resources that are present everywhere are the ubiquitous resources, and the resources that are present at certain places are called localized resources. Now, that's all for today. Thank you. One more part will come for this chapter. There are some topics left. I will discuss it in part 3rd. So please revise whatever I have taught you in this class and make a note for it. Thank you.